Hi everyone, this is Paul here from the Magdalene Centre. Today I'm doing the astrology report for Mercury Retrograde, which takes place in Pisces starting from the 5th of March and finishing on the 28th of March. About the key themes of this retrograde highlights to us, along with a couple of important dates partway through it, and I'll give an explanation as to what it all means. Before I do that, I just want to clarify, as I always do, that the astrology doesn't control our lives. It gives us a framework to help us understand what's unfolding around us. And it also helps us to understand what opportunities for growth are there, and what kind of lessons are there for us to be learning. But for anything to actually change or for us to actually grow from it, it requires that we take action and we participate in the process. It doesn't just happen to us. We can't just sit on the sidelines as a spectator. We have to get down with the action and actually participate with the process. Now, with Mercury retrograde in Pisces, as always, the key advice during a Mercury retrograde is to avoid signing any important documents if we can help it. Obviously, if something has to be done, then obviously do it. And it's also be mindful of our communications, so be extra careful with what we say and be more mindful with the words that we utter. And it's also be careful with or make sure we cross the T's and dot the I's with anything that we're doing, so we don't make any mistakes in the process. The reason for this is Mercury symbolises left brain functions, so we're talking about logic, reason, intuition, but any kind of communication and anything that requires immediate attention and requires use of gathering information and applying it in a logical fashion. So normally when Mercury's direct, it deals with attention, so it's focused in what's immediately in front of us and dealing with the task at hand. When Mercury's retrograde, it's about awareness, so it's spending less time focused on what's immediately in front of us, and it's about slowing down and opening our minds up to information that we've overlooked. So it's becoming aware of what's really going on. So Mercury retrograde is essentially about truth. Now in Pisces, it's looking at Pisces obviously deals with illusions at one level and the higher nature of truth on another. So with Mercury retrograde here, one of the things we need to be looking at is where have we bought into illusions, whether it's our own illusions or other people's, and where is this causing deception, whether it's self-deception or deceiving other people. That means that we're keeping ourselves bogged down in illusion. We're not freeing ourselves from some of the issues around us. So it's a time for being honest with ourselves about where do we cling to comforting illusions rather than facing uncomfortable truths, and what are these truths that part of our mind is trying to shield us from, because it would cause us to have to embrace change. Now obviously Pisces is a mutable sign, so it's very changeable anyway, and Mercury rules two mutable signs himself, i.e. Gemini and Virgo, but these two signs deal with objective, concrete information and deal with the analysis and reasoning of it, so it's distilling information down after we've gathered the facts. Pisces, on the other hand, is much more intuitive sign. It deals more with information through feelings and psychic senses, and it deals with full pictures rather than individual facts. So with Mercury retrograde in Pisces, part of the challenge is about expanding the rational mind and allowing it to embrace the non-linear aspects of reality and accept the fact that we don't understand everything around us, we don't know everything, and not everything around us conforms to human logic. Human logic is an attempt to try and understand things and apply very boxed kind of thinking or very linear observations, but the reality is nothing truly operates in straight lines that is natural. Everything that has straight lines in it is man-made. Everything else around us naturally operates in cycles, it naturally operates in curves. So it's breaking free of this need for everything to make logical sense, and it's allowing the intuitive functions to show us other ways of perceiving things and achieve a more balanced psyche as a result of bringing the left and right brain functions together. so that we see things more clearly, and the mind is then able to maximise its potential through integrating both sides together and achieving a more holistic level of perception, where we see things as they are, and rather than trying to analyse things, we learn to accept them and go with the natural flow of things. Part of it is also seeing where do we cut ourselves off from the flow through invalidating our intuitive perceptions with logic. Where do we undermine our intuitive perceptions or struggle to trust them because they go against what we believe is logical, when actually there may be a different logic to it, but it's not the kind of logic that we're used to. So Mercury retrograde, one of the key things that we can help ourselves with in order to navigate it is to get comfortable with not knowing things, and to acknowledge that we don't know things, because it's from this place of acknowledging that we don't know something that we can then be receptive to receiving answers. Because if we think we know things and we think we already know everything about a certain topic, then the mind starts to wither, as it were. The mind becomes shackled and it starts to shrink, as it were. So if we believe that we know everything already, then we're not open to learning anything new, and if anything does come along that directly contradicts what we believe, then it causes that discomfort, cognitive dissonance. So one of the key things to embrace in order to overcome cognitive dissonance is to be open to the possibility that we don't have all the facts, and information that we have that we think is true may not be true. And it's be open to receiving the truth no matter the cost. So it's not needing to have that comfort and that comforting illusion. It's being prepared to embrace uncomfortable truths which may cause pain initially, but they liberate us. And because it's only through the truth that peace can follow on from. Peace cannot truly exist within lies. It's just a truth then, because it's presenting a front, but peace can only happen on the inside, and it's a byproduct of the truth. But it's also obviously a byproduct of love. Pisces at its highest level is that universal love, that unconditional love, that state of surrender where we let go of the need to control everything, we let go of trying to make things happen to our own liking, and instead we trust the big picture. We trust that whatever's manifesting in our lives is going to push us in the right direction, or is going to be for our greater good. Sometimes it means facing a bit of discomfort in order to get there, but if we want to truly experience lasting peace and unconditional love in our lives, we have to let go of some of the perceptions that we hold on to. We have to let go of the belief that we know everything already, and we have to embrace different ways of perceiving things. We have to embrace truths which may shock us initially, but once we know the truth and once it's there, we can work with it and let go of the illusions that cause us pain, and free ourselves with the truth and heal ourselves with love and compassion. It's also, in some respects, this may also be an opportunity for us all to try and imbue our words, so the way we communicate, with more love and compassion, because it's not enough to speak the truth, because the truth can be spoken in a very harsh way. Truth also needs to be brought together with love in order to present the truth to people in a way that isn't done to hurt them, is there to help liberate them, because it only becomes really palatable if it's delivered with love, and we do it in a way that we seek to avoid causing unnecessary pain, and the only pain potentially caused is that where the truth we're uttering is breaking through an illusion that the person's been living under, that's brought them comfort, but is actually holding them back or keeping them stuck in illusions. So as long as love and truth are our guideposts, and as long as we seek to be honest with ourselves and to be willing to let go of illusions, we can heal ourselves and we can empower ourselves. Now with the retrograde, Mercury retrograde is going to conjunct the Sun on the 15th of March. This is the midpoint of the retrograde, so the first half of it is about that slowing down and allowing the insights that we've overlooked to be presented to us so we can start working with them. When Mercury retrograde and the Sun conjunct one another, symbolically this is when the seed of new beginnings is sown, but we won't necessarily see the results of it until after Mercury's turned direct on the 28th. But this seed of new beginnings starts to germinate in the subconscious or the unconscious mind, and we start to see the effects of it later on. So during this time, it's a good idea to kind of engage in some kind of reflective practice and to figure out what new beginnings do we actually want to achieve. And it's also, Pisces is all about the higher vision that guides everything. It's about that ability to surrender, and it's about that truth. But we may also have to come to terms with where we have addictive tendencies, where we have a habit of lying or deceiving, where any relationships we have could be codependent, or we rely on substances in order to achieve that sense of connection with a higher power, but this isn't true connection, it's just a substitute that elicits the feeling, but is chemically induced or emotionally induced through codependent relationships, for example. So we need to be honest with ourselves about whether this is an area that undermines us and causes us to engage in self-sabotage, and instead surrender these needs, surrender the attachments that underpin them, and learn to develop greater detachment in life. But this isn't detachment as in we don't care. It's about detachment in the sense that we don't cause ourselves suffering through being attached to an illusion. We seek the truth no matter the cost, but we also be open to spiritual guidance, and we allow our psychic senses to be embraced and brought into balance with logic and reason, because it's not about getting rid of logic and reason. We fought for centuries to break free of certain dogmas through the light of reason, so it has its place. But we also need to embrace intuition at the same time and use the two together in order to see things clearly. So with that Sun-Mercury conjunction, maybe the seeds of a new way of perceiving things, where we see through the illusions, but we also see through the eyes of love rather than through the eyes of judgment or the eyes of addiction. We also have a conjunction between Mercury retrograde and Neptune, who rules the sign that rules Pisces, which Mercury is retrograding through. This is the second conjunction. We had one where they were both direct on the 19th of February. Now on the 24th of March we have the second conjunction with Mercury retrograde, so we'll have a 3-point conjunction. The next one will be towards the end of March or into the beginning of April. But this is an opportunity to reconnect with vision, so it's an opportunity to reevaluate our plans or reevaluate the goals or intentions or visions that we've thought we want to achieve, and to quickly correct them, because by that point the Sun will be in Aries, which is a time for taking action. So if the visions that we think we want to achieve turn out to have certain areas that are incorrect, it's important that we use this opportunity to let go of the illusions or let go of the goals which aren't actually right for us, and make sure that we're actually pursuing a goal or aspiration or a vision that is based on who we are. It's guided by truth, guided by love, and will empower us going forwards. So it's important that we use this as an opportunity to strip away any illusions, ideally, or reevaluate the seeds of new beginnings we're setting, and make sure we're planting the right seeds as we go through the next astrological cycle. So there's quite a bit to take on board there, but I hope the useful guide for Mercury retrograde. The main thing to take away is this is a time to make sure that we slow down, that we spend time in some kind of reflective or meditative practice, and we use this time to be humble ourselves and recognise we don't know everything, and to allow intuition and allow information that we've overlooked to be presented to ourselves, so that we see the bigger picture more clearly, and we're not trying to go down a route that isn't right for us without realising. So may this particular Mercury retrograde bring you many insights, many blessings. Take care, may be blessed, and maybe bring much insight going forwards. Take care.